Hi everyone, welcome to my indoor garden grocery store. I need to do a little adjusting to my Tiny Tim tomato today, and I wanted to bring you guys along and just show you some of the adjustments I'm making to help it grow more effectively. Now, a lot of you are growing your indoor garden with me. We've got microgreens, salad greens, and Tiny Tim. So let me know what you're growing indoors down below in the comments. So first off, I need to adjust the light. Now, we planted this a couple of weeks ago. A lot of you were along for that video, and Tiny Tim was like way down here. And I love this clip light because you can adjust it as the plant grows, but it's definitely growing. And I actually need to add a longer pole here in the back so I can raise the light up faster. But first, let me give you a little peek on Tiny Tim. Doesn't he look great? There's some little flowers going on here. There's some new fresh green growth. And I'm also going to show you today how to hand pollinate. So first off, I'm going to set the clip light aside. Now this is definitely one of the easiest grow lights that you can use. It's just a simple little clip light you can get at the hardware store with a special grow light bulb that's good for growing plants. So go back and watch my grow light video. Super inexpensive, super simple to get set up. So first off, I've got to remove this PVC pole and put a longer stake in to clip my light to. So I just grabbed one of my garden stakes from out back. So just look around your house, see what you can use. Tiny Tim's going to grow, the top's out usually at about 2 feet. So the grow light needs a little bit more space. So I'm just going to put this here. You can see I've got it in a milk jug that's filled about halfway full of sand. So I'm just going to put it in the bottom there so it's nice and stable. Probably could have gone with a shorter pole, but this is what I had. So this is what we're going to use. And then, this is what I love so much about this clip light. It's so versatile, depending on what you're growing. We'll just clip it on here. And you want to make sure that your plant, whatever you're growing under here, is just about 2 to 3 inches from the light. And that way it gets plenty of light. It doesn't have to reach and stretch. So I think it's looking pretty good. What do you guys think? I'm really happy with Tiny Tim's growth, and I really think it's due to the Smart Pots. The fabric is aerated, so it gets plenty of oxygen to the roots. And really 5 gallon is just about the right size for Tiny Tim. So let me know what you're growing your Tiny Tim in and how it's doing. And make sure that you take advantage of our Black Friday sale, 25% off on my seed collections, books, garden kits, and you do get a free 5 gallon Smart Pots and a black seeded Simpson lettuce seed packet with your order. So that sale goes with the code Black Friday. Now, a lot of you have also asked about the plant saucers underneath. This is a 14-inch plastic plant saucer. And I always put all the links to the supplies I use in the video description to make it easier for you to find things that work. There's also links to all the grow lights, so I've had lots and lots of questions about those as well. Now, our Tiny Tim does need some support. It's definitely growing. Let me show you what I did just for a little kind of interim type support. I didn't want to purchase anything, so I just looked around my kitchen. I didn't even want to go outside. I looked around my kitchen through my drawers, and I just found an old wooden spoon. So I kind of tied it with a little twisty tie to the wooden spoon. Whoops, that came undone. But super easy to do that. But today I need to put a taller support in because it's definitely going to be growing. So I'm just going to scooch Tiny Tim over just a little bit. We may have to adjust our light in just a moment here. But what I'm going to use is just one of my small tomato cages from the garden. Again, didn't want to purchase anything, so we're just going with what we got. Now I might need to make some adjustments to the height. So I'm just going to kind of try it out for size. And if it's too tall, which it probably will be, just for the space that I have here, I may not need one quite this tall. We'll cut it down to size here. So let me just set it over. And I think it is going to be too tall. So what I'm going to do is just clip the ends off. Got a pair of wire cutters here. I actually want it right about this height here. So I'm going to cut about 3 inches off the bottom of this. And this is just a small tomato cage. Very easy to find at any hardware store. Okay, I've got my tomato cage cut. And we're just going to kind of ease it over Tiny Tim. You do have to be really careful when you're installing a tomato cage that you don't break the leaves. And ideally, I probably should have done this when I planted it. But you know, that's just the way it goes. So I'm going to just tuck the leaves up under the cage supports. And there we go. I think that looks really good. Actually, it's really nice to have a tomato inside when it's too cold to grow outside. So it's just so nice to see the green indoors. So I'm going to scooch this back under the grow light, and I'm going to have to make a little adjustment here to my grow light. Actually, it fits just perfectly through the tongues of the cage. Perfect. Now let's talk pollinating, because obviously we don't have any bees inside to do the job for us. So our tomato will definitely need to be hand pollinated if we want to get tomatoes, which we definitely do. You can see these tiny little flowers, which is super exciting. Now tomato flowers are pretty cool because they have both male and female parts. So all you need to do to hand pollinate is just to move the plant around. What that does is it wiggles the pollen around and it pollinates the flowers. Some people like to use a little electric toothbrush and very gently rub the flower on the inside. And we'll definitely keep you posted when little tomatoes start to pop out. Now let's talk watering. It's very important that you don't overwater, especially in your indoor garden, because it can really make bugs kind of harbor on the surface of your plants. So you really want to be careful. Now you see that this plant here is kind of dry on the top. So I usually like to watch for that light brown soil, which indicates that it's dry, and then kind of poke my finger in. And if it feels dry a couple inches down, that's when I want to water. If you over soak your plants, it really does bring in the fungus gnats. And you can see here that I've got these little sticky traps, which is really my favorite thing to use for the fungus gnats. You can also set little bottle caps of apple cider vinegar with a little drop of dish soap around your plants. That works as well. Typically what I do to all of my indoor garden is I carry my little trays over to the sink about once a week, fertilize and water from the bottom. And it works great for all the small pots, but for the larger 5-gallon, like the tomato here, especially since it's all caged up and you got the grow light now, it's really hard to move. So you want to water it right in place. And here's what I do to water. First off, I'm going to feed it once a week with the Vermistera Vitality and the Good Dirt plant food. Now that it's got flowers on it, I'm going to back off on the Good Dirt plant food because this really encourages the green leafy growth. But if your tomato is young and you're just starting out, combine these two once a week. But now I'm just going to feed it, that it has flowers, I'm just going to feed it with the Vermistera Vitality, which will really just keep it healthy and just help it grow strong and continue feeding it a nice, slow and steady growth. But I'm going to water it very slowly. I've got my drip tray, and really the secret is to water it just enough so that your drip tray doesn't overflow onto your furniture, but so that you give the plant enough water that it needs just to keep it moist enough. So I'm going to water, see how that's soaking in, and wait to make sure that it's not overflowing my drip tray. I do want to water till there's a little bit coming out the bottom. So let me water it just a little bit more because I want to see some coming out the bottom to make sure that all the roots have the water that they need. And you do want to water around the entire root zone of the plant so that all the roots get the water that they need. So now I've got some water coming out the bottom, which is exactly what you want to see. So definitely don't flood your plants out. One more thing about watering is the frequency that you water your plants. It really depends on the temperature that you keep your house. If it's really cold outside, you've got the heater running, your soil's going to dry out a lot faster. For us here, we don't run our heater a ton, and it's probably in the 70s during the day and in the 70s or so in the house. So usually about once a week is sufficient for this tomato plant. Now, if you want to grow an indoor garden, now's the time. I'm talking to those of you who are sitting on the fence. It's cold outside, you miss gardening, you miss the fresh veggies. Now's the time. Get an indoor garden planted. Look at these microgreens. You can be eating these in about a week or so. When it's too cold to grow outside, you're still going to have fresh, tasty veggies to enjoy. And the herbs, we did the video on herbs last week. We are putting these herbs in our food every single day. And the greens, look at this lettuce, you guys. Fresh, tasty salads in the winter. You really can't go wrong. And pretty soon we're going to have some tomatoes to share. So head over to CallieKimGardenandHome.com. Grab an indoor garden seed collection. It has all these seeds in it that you need to grow your indoor garden. And you get 25% off with the code Black Friday. And you're going to get a free black 5-gallon Smart Pots and a packet of black seeded lettuce Simpson seeds with your order. And that sale runs until this coming Monday, November 28th. So let me know what you're growing indoors, what you're eating from your indoor garden. I can't wait to read your comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.